We like to think we are in control of our own behavior, that our thoughts are consciously controlled and that our actions are reliable. However, hormones, an ancient method of mind control, can influence our behavior. Protein messengers are best recognized for their fundamental role as regulators. Think of insulin and blood sugar, but they also provide chemical information to the brain that tells us about the world and the people in it. In today's video, we're going to delve into everything you need to know about how your hormones influence your mind and your body. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Emotions are a complicated experience that is categorized by states of mind, external and internal reactions and expressions, but they are primarily a conscious experience that is categorized by states of mind, external and internal reactions and manifestations. Hormones communicate crucial information both within the brain and between the brain and the rest of the body, causing an array of different emotions that we experience on a daily basis. How do hormones affect our body and mind? The endocrine system, like the nervous system, is a significant communication mechanism in the body. The neurological system sends chemical signals through neurotransmitters, whereas the endocrine system sends chemical signals through hormones. Hormones are produced by the pancreas, kidneys, heart, adrenal glands, gonads, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, and even fat. The pituitary gland is controlled by the endocrine system, which functions in part by acting on neurons in the brain. Factors secreted by the pituitary gland into the bloodstream work on the endocrine glands to promote or reduce hormone synthesis. The communication from the brain to the pituitary to an endocrine gland and back to the brain is referred to as a feedback loop. This system is critical for the activation and regulation of basic behavioral activities, including sex, emotion, stress responses, eating, and drinking, as well as the regulation of physical function, including growth, reproduction, energy consumption, and metabolism. Now bear with me, as there is a lot of terminology. The metabolic hormones insulin-like growth factor, ghrelin, and leptin, for example, have receptors in the brain. These hormones are absorbed from the bloodstream and have an effect on neuronal function and structure. All of this explains why we feel the different emotions we do and how we think. It is all very interesting, and understanding how these hormones change your emotions can help you understand your behavior or emotions in a certain moment and what to do in order to reduce or increase that emotion. Different hormones that affect our emotions and mind. Hormones and chemicals are responsible for keeping the body in good operating order. A handful of them are listed below, along with how their balance affects how our moods, emotions, and tensions are triggered. Estrogen, female reproduction. Estrogen is the principal sex hormone that is created by women's ovaries. Estrogen can enhance and increase serotonin and endorphins associated with good mood states, which have a large impact on your emotions. Estrone, estradiol, and estriol are three primary endogenous estrogen in females with estrogenic hormone action. The estrone steroid is the most powerful and widely used, while also being one of the most potent. Premenstrual syndrome, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and postpartum depression are all symptoms of estrogen deficiency. Depression, anxiety, and mood swings are all linked to low estrogen levels. High estrogen levels, on the other hand, can cause havoc with our bodies. As a result, a proper biochemical balance is critical for the proper functioning of the steroid hormone systems. By lowering the level of monoamine oxidase, the enzyme responsible for the deactivation, estrogen aids in the maintenance of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine levels. Oxytocin, bonding hormone. The hypothalamus produces oxytocin, which is then released into the bloodstream by the pituitary gland. It is involved in prosocial behavior, sexual reproduction, and childbirth before, during, and after the delivery of a child. It induces sensations of satisfaction, relaxation, security, and anxiety reduction. Oxytocin protects against stress by inhibiting brain areas related with fear and anxiety behavioral control. By suppressing the amygdala, oxytocin given orally has been shown to lessen fear, brain area responsible for fear responses. It promotes romantic attraction and subsequent monogamous pair bonding by increasing trust, empathy, and social interaction. MDMA, often known as ecstasy or X, stimulates oxytocin activity in the brain, which boosts the feelings of love, empathy, and connection. Deficiency of oxytocin is linked to impaired communication, increased anxiety and dread, disturbed sleep, sugar cravings, and irritability in the pathophysiology of depression. Those who get addicted to these kinds of drugs can suffer greatly as the side effects are quite significant and the positive effects can feel amazing and become very addictive. Progesterone, female ovulation calming hormone. Progesterone is a progestogen, which is a class of steroid hormones. During the second half of the menstrual cycle, it is mostly secreted by the corpus luteum in the ovary. It is necessary for the menstrual cycle and the early stages of pregnancy to function properly. When an egg is released from the ovary at ovulation, about day 14 of the menstrual cycle, the remnants of the ovarian follicle that encase the developing egg form a structure known as the corpus luteum. Progesterone and, to a lesser amount, estradiol are released. In the event that the released egg is fertilized, progesterone prepares the body for pregnancy. The corpus luteum breaks down if the egg is not fertilized. Progesterone production drops and a new menstrual cycle begins. Serotonin, happiness hormone. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that is also classified as a hormone by others. It is used by the body to communicate between nerve cells. It appears to influence mood, emotions, hunger, and digestion. It regulates sleep, wake cycles, and the biological clock as a precursor to melatonin. There has been a lot of research on serotonin and what it does, but there is still a lot to discover. Serotonin is produced in the intestines and the brain. It's also found in blood platelets and has a job to perform in the nervous system, CNS. It appears to have an impact on a variety of physical and psychological functions because it is found all over the body. Animals, plants, and fungi all contain serotonin. As a result, some people consider food to be a possible source of serotonin. The blood-brain barrier prevents serotonin from reaching the brain. This means that the brain must manufacture all of the serotonin it requires. Treatments for depression and other mental health concerns do not directly supply serotonin, but instead induce chemical events in the brain that can increase serotonin levels. Norepinephrine and epinephrine, stress fighter hormone. Norepinephrine is a catecholamine that functions as a hormone and a neurotransmitter. It is engaged in the sympathetic nervous system and the arousal system of the brain, where it is responsible for increased blood pressure, respiration, and respiratory rate. It is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands and is involved in the body's fight or flight response to stress. In times of panic or emergency, the adrenal gland's medulla releases epinephrine or adrenaline. It triggers the stress response and arouses intense emotions such as fear, wrath, or amusement. A lack of norepinephrine and epinephrine has been linked to depression, while an excess has been linked to mood disorders such as schizophrenia. How to naturally increase these hormones to improve your mood. Exercise. Daily exercise is the most efficient and effective approach to increase serotonin levels. It only takes 20 to 30 minutes of exercise per day to reap the benefits. Exercise also helps us sleep better, calms our minds, keeps our hearts strong, and helps us maintain a healthy weight. Endorphins and serotonin are produced and increased, which boosts our emotions and energy levels. When you're feeling down, take a brisk stroll outside, dance, or join a group exercise class. Relationships and intimacy. It's really simple to release oxytocin if you're wondering how to do so. There is no such thing as oxytocin food, but that's okay since oxytocin is released when you engage in caring relationships and surround yourself with a loving community. Orgasms, in particular, is one of the most effective ways to increase oxytocin levels and display compassion for another person. Although having sex with a partner might make you feel closer and more connected, you can still experience an increase in oxytocin levels even if you are not in a relationship. Even no strings attached sex can lift your spirits and make you feel terrific. Vitamin B. The creation of neurotransmitters including dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine is dependent on adequate B vitamin intake. Irritability, short attention spans, and short-term memory loss are all symptoms of vitamin B6 insufficiency. Brown rice, legumes, whole grains, and meats are all high in vitamin B6. Another brain-boosting nutrient is vitamin B12, often known as cyanocobalamin. B vitamins can also be found in leafy greens of many kinds, such as kale, spinach, broccoli, and rucola, also known as salad rocket. Vitamin D. To help our bodies synthesize vitamin D, which is required for the formation of brain chemicals such as dopamine, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine, most of us just need short, regular exposure to sunlight. When the skin is exposed to sunshine, vitamin D is created by the body. It can also be found in a few meals, such as fish liver oils, and egg yolks, as well as fortified dairy and grain products, but not nothing beats some time in the sun. And there you have it, how hormones influence you and your mind along with all of those influxes and emotions. It is incredible what kind of chemicals and hormones the brain can produce and how powerful these can be on our mood and mind. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.